Well guys, it looks like this person right here who goes by the name James Charles is officially back. I feel like we haven't talked about him for at least a year now, and every time we were talking about him in the past, it's because he was having inappropriate relationships with people and really seemed like he knew no boundaries. I'm pretty sure in the first instance he was making a straight guy uncomfortable by hitting on him, flirting with him, and coming on to him knowing that he was straight.
You're the hottest. Oh, stop it. I'm blushing now.
And then in a much worse series of events, there was this whole era where James, who was like 19, 20, 21 at the time, was caught sending inappropriate messages to boys who were like 14, 15, and 16 years old. If I remember correctly, he was sending them some crazy stuff and also requesting crazy stuff be sent to him in return. So yes, at that time, James Charles was kind of on some like EDP type of activity, but I feel like nothing really came of it. And this TikTok right here is actually why we're back talking about the man. You had this person right here who attempted to expose James Charles, basically saying that he's straight and that James Charles knew that, but once again continued to hit on him, continued to flirt with him. So we're gonna see what he has to say, okay? The first slide, he says the James Charles experience. He shares another screenshot where James Charles started following him. James then sends him a DM. He says, age check, please. So at least we know the man at this time is now verifying age. I remember when those other allegations came out about him, people really did hold his feet to the fire, because when you are interacting with fans especially, there's already that power dynamic, and then when you're also not checking age, I mean, you're gonna end up like that one sicko on that Netflix show about cheerleading. Y'all remember that guy? They packed him up and got him the f*** out of here, but he was actually on some real demon time. You know, not just messages, he was actually doing meetups out there looking for his cupcake. And then I guess he's just showing here that James continued to send him messages. The two were obviously interacting back and forth. And then I guess he shows this message here to show that James was flirting with him, that James was getting jealous that he was following some girl. James asks, who is this girl? He said, so honored to be half the people you follow. I'm guessing he was only following 2 people at that time. He says, haha, she's a girl I'm texting. I find it hard to find people that are actually interesting to talk to. James says, wow, my competition, eh? I'm cuter. And then he says, lol, you guys are both great. Ouch. I only met her yesterday through a dating app. And he says, oh my god, and you already followed her? Bro. Which is kind of a suspect thing for James to be saying when he's constantly being exposed for finding these random men on TikTok and then following them and DMing them with romantic intentions. And so these two guys keep talking for like weeks. The whole time this guy is claiming to be straight. Personally, I'm not really buying it. I mean, if you're entertaining these type of messages for weeks on end, I mean, that's really on you. It's not like at this point James is being on some weird shit. You know, I don't really like James. I think that he's done some very questionable things in the past. But to me, if you're claiming to be straight, and then a gay guy's flirting with you for weeks on end, and you're not putting a stop to it, and you're actually like responding back to these messages, look, all I'm saying is you might have some soul searching to do. Either way, this is where things kind of get a little bit crazy, okay? James sent this one in vanish mode. This guy had 2 phones like Kevin Gates, and that's how he got this screenshot. So James says, it's a really lucrative role. It's called My Boyfriend. Requirements, 6'2 plus. Must love escape rooms, horror movies, and cuddling. Sounds awful. He said this guy has to have a big old armpit hair, which is a very strange thing because in the past this guy has shown his like admiration for armpit hair. I'm pretty sure back in the day he was like asking guys for pics of their armpit hair and shit like that. What does he want to do? Just stick his head all up in your armpit, motorboat that shit? He says if you become his boyfriend, you also get an occasional FaceTime call. It just gets more annoying, okay? Who the f wants to FaceTime with someone they're already actually dating? He says the salary is $0, which I honestly don't believe. I think at this point, James Charles is so desperate for love that he would actually pay someone a nice, handsome salary to be his boyfriend. He says this is a great job offer, I think, like if he's on Indeed. He says perks include a cute boyfriend with a great personality and a huge ass, free living in a $10 million house in Los Angeles, fun travel opportunities, good, and more. And let me just say, I still think it's crazy that he was condemning him for following that other girl, but then he's over here right now offering him to live in his $10 million mansion. Here he says that James was trying to convince him to FaceTime him, saying he sent me 2 illicit photos after I kept declining to send a selfie. Dude, you were talking to him for weeks on end. All I'm saying is you're not some victim here, my guy. And just watch this video, guys. It's so f***ing weird. Like, in general, James Charles is just kind of a weird guy.
So if I'm being like, oh my God, David, you're annoying, over text, right? You don't know if I'm saying like, oh my God, David, you're being annoying. Or like, oh my God, David, you're being annoying. Or like, oh my God, David, you're being annoying. Because all three of those are completely different like emotions that you cannot see through text. You only get to actually experience those through a FaceTime call or through being in person. Even over the phone, you still miss out on things because you're missing somebody's facial expressions, right? So because you refuse to hang out with people or because you refuse to FaceTime, you're not allowing people to actually get to know you as like a human being. And that's a massive, massive problem whenever it comes to being in a relationship with somebody. You cannot fall in love with somebody simply just from text.
So yeah, obviously James was on some like weird Okay, don't get me wrong, this guy still gives me like very creepy vibes. I mean, there's obviously straight men that act like this too. He just really seems like the type of person who like cannot get the hint. And it's like he's so desperate for love that he's gonna push and push and push. And obviously that's just not really a good strategy, whether you're straight, whether you're gay. I mean, for this guy to be so successful and a multimillionaire, he lives in a mansion, he has his own brands, he does, you know, a lot of big business. And he's still so desperate that he's scrolling around on his TikTok page looking for a boyfriend, you know, just some random man from anywhere in the country. And I guess here he got a video of James acknowledging the fact that he is indeed a straight man.
So obviously being that you are straight, I would assume that you don't know a lot about like the gay community.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do find it very strange that James has this history of like trying to turn straight men gay. I mean, I do think in this situation, the guy that made this TikTok is really just clout hungry and was obviously leading him on. I really do have proof of that here in a second. But in general, I do think it's some weird shit for James Charles to be obviously interested in. And then he kind of just continues the exposing. He says, when you find out you're not the only straight guy that James Charles wants. Some of the guys saying James texted me before too. Some of the guys says that James followed him as well. I'm telling you guys, this guy's just scrolling around TikTok trying to find a boyfriend and shit. Honestly, all this activity really just reeks of desperation. And then I guess once this guy leaked all these DMs, once he leaked those videos to James, he sends him one final message and tells him to go f*** himself. And then I have this last video to show you guys. This woman right here claims that that was her brother in the video talking to James. And she's about to expose her brother.
I didn't think I'd be coming on the internet to be talking about this, but, well, this is my little brother. This is David's account, and he was talking to James Charles about a month and a half ago. All those videos are a month and a half old. They went viral. Twitter is doing its thing. Reddit's doing its thing. People on YouTube doing their thing. And
Here I am.
He obviously did it for views. There's no hidden meaning behind it.
He might be gay.
And James Charles did nothing wrong in this situation.
That's alright though.
I know the screenshots that's on the internet that were sent to my brother look kind of questionable.
They look gay.
They spoke for a few weeks. My brother led him on a bit. Even though he said he was straight, he was leading him on. I told my brother to take the videos down. He pretty much told me to go f*** myself. And
He wants that
but
clout.
obviously I care because I just didn't see a reason for this. Like, whatever past allegations he has, not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. But that's pretty much all I had to say. I think my brother is being a punk and is being out of pocket for posting.
Yeah, I mean, your brother really just had the clout demon kind of take him over. And I'm guessing maybe you did as well, okay? Even in making this video, I think she was looking for clout as well. I think we're just in this, like, clout-driven society. It's sick. Because there's really only two possible outcomes in this whole scenario. It's either you were talking to him for weeks because maybe you do have some feelings for him, or you were talking to him for weeks just to make these exposed videos. I don't know which one in his case for him is worse. Sounds like something he might need to talk out with a therapist. But y'all let me know what you guys think about the situation down below. Is James in the wrong just in general for wanting to talk to all these straight men? Or was the other guy leading him on? What do you think? I want to thank you guys for dropping a like on today's video and subscribing. But as you guys know, it's been your friendly neighborhood Mexican. And some other desperate influencers out here need to be covered, so I'm out. Peace!